Hello, we are back with the Dance Moms After Show on AfterBuzz TV, Season 8 of Dance Moms. Can you believe it? We've made it all this way. Hi, I'm your host, Tamra Brown. You may remember me from the Season 7 After Show of Dance Moms at AfterBuzz TV, and I'm happy to be back. I hope you are too. A lot to go over, guys, in these first two episodes here. Let's start out recapping what's going on with Abby Lee Miller. So much since the last time we left Abby. At the end, 2 years ago, we saw Abby going off to prison for, she was investigated by the FBI for tax fraud, and she was sent to jail, federal prison actually, in Victorville, which is not far from sunny Los Angeles, California, but let me tell you, it's a place that you do not want to be. Abby was sent to prison for almost a year, and she was let out of jail in April of 2018. And almost immediately, once she got out of jail, she found out she had a pain in her back, and she was diagnosed with a spine infection and had to immediately go into surgery. And the infection required the doctors to remove a couple of her vertebrae, and she was at first paralyzed from the neck down. Pretty terrifying, obviously, for a dance teacher. That's going to ruin your career when you've already been through so much. She had to go through chemo treatments and a lot of rehabilitation, and at this point, when we see her at the beginning of these episodes, she's paralyzed from the waist down. Still a huge sort of landmine to have to rehabilitate yourself and learn how to cope and learn how to use a chair and everything like that. Were you guys as surprised as I was to see Abby clearly lost a lot of weight, going through chemo treatments? She lost her hair. We saw her trying on wigs. She still has her trusty hair and makeup people to make sure she's always got those, at least a couple pairs of fake eyelashes on, Abby's signature lashes. So glad to see that those are still there. Even when you're in a wig and a wheelchair, you still got to have fake eyelashes. That's what I've always said. We're happy to see Abby back in the dance studio, and part of her rehabilitation, her self-appointed rehabilitation, was to get back into the dance studio and start a whole new Abby Lee Miller dance team. And that's where we started off with our first episode. Abby brought in 7 new students, 1 boy, all the rest are girls, and Liliana from 2 seasons ago, or 2 years ago, our last season with Dance Moms. So we remember Lily when she was itty bitty. She was about 7 years old the last time we saw her, and now she's 10 years old. And she's the only one that we already know. All of the rest of them are new, and we are excited to get to know these new kids. I don't know, I'm not as excited to get to know their moms. How about you guys? The mama drama is always a little bit less interesting to me than actually seeing the dances and seeing the girls develop as dancers. That's the part that keeps me tuning in every season. So one thing that I thought was really cool was that as we had these 2 new episodes, we just went back to the regular old normal format that we used to see in the original seasons of the show, where the beginning of the show was Abby talking to the kids in the studio. She did the pyramid, which we're going to bring that back, and then she handed out the solos and the dances for the week and told them what the group dance was going to be. So it was kind of cool, I thought, to go back to the original format of the shows that we've watched through the years, just the way that it used to be. She starts out with the trios, and so both of these episodes together, we saw 6 dances. We saw the 2 trios from the first episode, the first group dance, which was a super intense, sort of traditional Abby dance, because it was lyrical, and it was just a really sort of pull at your heartstrings dance, literally, because the dance was about heart, kind of intense dance for the judges, like a very, morose song. And I'm surprised the episode really didn't go into how the moms rigged those costumes with the white dresses and for the blood to come out right at that part to make the dancers bleed in the middle of the dance. That was dark, but a really cool effect, and really added a lot to the sort of the gravity of that dance. And then in the second episode, of course, we had our 2 solos. We had Lily and we had Savannah, and then we had the group dance of the haka, the traditional like warrior dance, which was a very that's a kind of dance I believe it's like a New Zealand, Australia, like Aboriginal sort of dance, and very, very like boom, 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 like high octane, a lot of power to that. And the kids, understandably, like Lily couldn't catch her breath. They said that it was probably one of the hardest dances of ALDC, and definitely like the most like physically demanding. So it's kind of cool that Abby's like right off the bat just giving the kids a challenge immediately. I think that's a really important thing for her to do, especially because these kids aren't newbies. Giannina, for example, she's already been on Broadway. She has toured with Mariah Carey. She has quite a resume. Lily, of course, already has a big following from seasons past. All of these kids, Brady, especially the boy, already well known within the dance world. These kids already have a following. So I would almost say, you know, Abby has said several times through these episodes how she made stars, she created stars, which is true. She created Maddie Ziegler, she created Mackenzie. You know, we wouldn't know who they were if it weren't for Abby Lee Miller. None of the kids, Nia, Kendall, any of them. But I think this is a little different at this point. Abby didn't necessarily create these kids. These kids already have a career for all intents and purposes. I'm sure a lot of you probably already follow them on Instagram. So it's a little bit different than seasons past, only in that we, fans of dance, might already know who a lot of these kids are. And at this point, it's almost like they are helping Abby reestablish her place in the dance world. It was cool to see that with each of these dances, the kids won first place in both of the group dances. So it's cool to see that Abby's like back at it, like back to where she was. She's already got a group of winners, just like before, and happy to see that. I guess I'll go into maybe my favorites so far. I really like Brady. He seems to be a really, he's got a good head on his shoulders, and his mom doesn't seem to be causing a lot of drama. I'd say I'm not as excited to see Stacy, Lily's mom, sort of inserting herself in all of the reasons to like cause chaos backstage when that's just not really necessary. A lot of that stuff you can kind of see it's just as choreographed as the dances themselves. A lot of that stuff seems a little bit contrived, but it does seem that Hannah's mom, and just like in one of the scenes, the moms are saying like, I think she's a little off her rocker, she's a little wacky. I do think that probably is the case with her, and that's probably why Hannah is so quiet in every single one of the in the testimonials where it's just the camera and the kid. You could tell it was like pulling teeth getting any kind of words out of Hannah. She's a shy one. So I personally don't see her going too far, at least in this season, and you know, possibly her career as a whole, because you really need to not just be a dancer, but really you have to be a large personality in order to compete at this level. And if she can't even answer simple questions when it's like a one-on-one testimonial with the cameras, then this poor kid. I'm pulling for you, Hannah. I really want you to break out of your shell. I think moving forward, what we can expect are some injuries, maybe a little bit more than the ripped toe and the ripped toenail and Lily's like hyperventilating that we saw this episode. We're probably going to see a little bit more. Like accidents in the dance studio is what they foreshadowed at the end of what we saw. And I believe Abby has a medical emergency too. So those are some things that we can see on the horizon coming up. I expect that we're going to see a lot from Giannina. I bet she's going to get a lot of solos. That's what I'm assuming, and I bet we are going to see a lot from Savannah. We can already tell that she's an immediate favorite by Abby by getting a solo in the second episode. And Lily's probably going to continue to be one of the favorites. I would say at this point, Lily is like Maddie, just because she's a veteran of the team, and Stacy, even though she sort of she's butting heads with Abby already, that tends to show that like Abby feels a little bit more comfortable. The way that Abby came into the bathroom to console Lily when her mom cut her hair, like that was something Abby didn't really like take time out to console the kids when they were upset about something, and the fact that she did that so early on in this season with Lily, that I do feel like Lily is sort of they're billing her to be the replacement Maddie, or the new Maddie. That's what it seems to me. Savannah, I bet, will kind of be like Chloe and be sort of Maddie's competition. We've already seen Lily and Savannah going off head to head, and Savannah beat Lily. Savannah got first place, Lily got second. So I bet those two are going to be in tough competition with each other. Giannina already kind of has star power. I see her kind of like Kalani. Kalani was a very mature dancer from the beginning, just like Giannina is. And Kalani sort of maybe didn't get a lot of solos, but it was just sort of kind of understood that she was a really established and great, sophisticated dancer, and I can see that. That's the role that Giannina is going to play. I bet Hannah I can see being more like Nia, because she's quiet. She's very quiet, kind of often gets pushed into the background. So that's what I see happening to Hannah. I think of our veterans of the series, we remember from seasons past. If you remember, like the Highland girls, they are graduated high school now, and I believe they are entering the model world at this point. And Nia is doing her music thing and doing a lot of promotions. My favorite dancers from the ALDC through the years would probably be number one, Maddie, of course. It's probably a cliche answer, but probably something that we can all agree on. I'd say my second favorite is probably Kalani. I always thought that she was just such a beautiful dancer that maybe didn't get the attention that she deserved. And third would probably be, I'd have to think about that, but maybe JoJo, just because she's a lot of fun. And if you follow her on Instagram, you can see she's still doing those crazy things and still wearing the bows and making appearances and stuff like that. They're just kind of, I'd say like JoJo, Kendall, even Chloe, Nia, they're just sort of like social media stars at the moment, and really just making appearances and doing product promotion and stuff like that, which is cool. It's great for them, you know? Stretch that stuff out, girls. Ride that wave as long as you can. But I would like to see, you know, where these girls are at in their dance careers now, you know? Put out a video every once in a while. I want to give a shout out to any of you dancers out there who do make your dub smash videos or anything like that. You can find me on Instagram. I'm Hey Tamra, HeyTamra. And even as an adult, I keep up my dance practice and post those little dub smash videos. So I want to see yours. So you can DM me one of your little videos to Old Town Road or whatever song. Whatever song is popular, is trending on Dub Smash right now, send it to my DMs, because I'll share it out there and want to see what you guys are dancing to now. Continue to watch the after show for Dance Moms on AfterBuzz TV, and I hope that you guys will comment below and keep listening and let us know what you think about this new season of Dance Moms. And yeah, stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram, Hey Tamra, and follow AfterBuzz TV, and we will see you on the third episode, Season 8 of Dance Moms. Thanks.